going live here. Hey, hey, hey. I just want to say thank you for being a part of the show. If you like the outdoors, this show's for you. Not everybody that skis listens to this, and I get it. But more importantly is people that love the outdoors listen to the show. So if you're looking for I Ski with Frankie Z, then this is the place to be. We like to hear from cool people. So if you're listening to this, we're gonna fill you in on the real deal. We've got a couple of news reports that are funny, and I'm gonna just put it on the table. We're gonna talk about it. We got a great show coming up. We're gonna talk about Michaela Shepherd becoming the best ever world slalom champion by winning the bronze and what that means. Then we're gonna talk about another headline that says American Michaela Shepherd settles for bronze in the slalom at the World Ski Championships when she became the most winningest American skier of all time. Headline. And you'll never guess who it's from. So if you listen to the previous podcast where I said ESPN is wrong, guess who's wrong again? Oh my God, I can't even believe these guys. Maybe they don't watch my podcast. You know, that's all I can figure, because Wi-Fi again, and have them discount this girl's winnings, this American girl's winnings, this American girl's effort in Italy to become the top skier of all time. Do they have some angst over there at ESPN for this particular athlete? Is it something? I don't even want to go into what else it could be. But controversy around it. So I don't apologize for being surprised and even making it newsworthy. We're still going to play their. I just thought that what I would do is I would just go through this fifth about Michaela Shepherd. You can relate to this. I don't even know what else to say. There's the word ski is such a part of our world, so it all ties us together, kind of thing. And then we have this music list. When I say the music list, this thing's so crazy. I was going through what these songs mean, and we're gonna break this down for a little bit, but I thought I would throw you a little bone and tell you number 3 on this list of 5 songs. Number 3 is by Derek and the Dominoes, who we all know is Eric Clapton. And he has a song that you may not know or may not have listened to in a long time, but if you grew up in the 60s, especially late 60s, if you went to high school in the late 60s, or if you were a girl, you could understand the song. Like, maybe that's why I can understand it, because I have such feminine tendencies. I don't know. But anyway, it's a love song, but you have to listen for it. But it's not a love song like, oh, we fell in love and then yada yada yada, Jack and Jill went up the hill thing. This is a love song where this guy's just bleeding and pouring out his heart to this girl. So we'll talk about that. Derek and the Dominoes with Eric Clapton. Michaela Shepherd, 5th consecutive slalom World Championship. Michaela Shepherd Saturday in Cortina, Italy. But a bronze medal, she still had her best World Championship ever and staked the claim at being the most successful woman skier in modern history. Getting back to this ESPN article from the Associated Press, we give 2 angles to this story, but the first leading, I'm from the old school thinking, and I don't know if it's ever been this way, but that journalism And I have an uncle who's a journalist. I have an uncle that writes into editorials, and he's literate, and he writes well, and he makes an excellent point when he allocates his ideas. So I get activism. I also get opinions that people have, that they transfer that into writing and podcasts, television shows, whatever it is. But when you say I'm a journalist, and I'm not saying I'm a journalist, I'm just running a podcast. Let's just be clear about that. But I expect out of my journalists them not to have their bias. Just, if you're going to write a good article, write a good article. If you're going to write a bad article, go ahead and write that bad article. But don't write a good article under the headline of a bad article. I guess is all I'm asking. So if that's too much, well, I guess I'm just asking for too much. My bad. But I don't think my standard's that high. And I look for that across the board, if it becomes. That's why I say, when you guys are looking at television nowadays, wait till you see what television looks like in 10 years. I did want to talk, though, about how well I thought this girl competed when she was in Italy. And congratulations to her after suffering the loss of her father last February. To then come back from that loss somehow, start getting ready for this season's competition that we've just now finished in Cortina, Italy. And she has the wherewithal to then start training again in March. And then the pandemic shuts her down. Can't ski. So I don't know when her feet hit snow again, but whenever it was, however that went, congratulations to her. Michaela Shepherd. This young woman has just been fantastic. And I don't know what else to say. I love a competitor that has heart. I love a competitor that has sense of humor. I love a competitor that can josh with the media a little bit and have fun and still just go out there and rip. And just rip. But more importantly is, when's the last time you had a brewski? I had this cat that I went to school with named Pat Ronan, and I think he still even says, hey, let's go have a brewski, or at one time would have said that to me, but he was the most famous for that. That used to crack me up, and it still does. Brewski. Or like myself, I drink a Swiss beverage with the Russian name. I'm sure you're familiar with it. A Red Bullski, whatever your particular length of course is. And that translates over. One of the other ones that it came into Urban Dictionary for the new recreational marijuana folks that are in Arizona, California, Colorado, Nevada. New Mexico still has a little bit of legislation to figure out, but any of those other states, how about a bluntski or a budski for the road? And your boy's like, yeah, I just picked up a nice fat ounce. I can spare a budski. And you throw it to him like it's a friend. Like, here you go, man. There's your budski. And you're like, all right. It's a nice little nugget ski, man. So there's your whole ski deal. Oh, my God. You know what we're heading into? And I swear to God, this is the best. I cannot wait. The music list. So much of it was so cool. So this is a really special edition of this list. By the way, I know I'm supposed to do this in the beginning and I'm supposed to say, hey, can you subscribe to the channel? Because this is the most important thing for us to bring you good content. If you can hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell is the absolute most important thing about this whole thing. So subscribe to the channel. Help us out. That's all I ask you to do, is just hit the bell. Okay? Moving on to the music segment here. Number 5 is a song by Manfred Mann's Earth Band. And you're like, what? Who is that? That's all right. Check it out. This band did a cover song in 1976 of a song that Bruce Springsteen recorded in 1972. I believe I got my dates right on this. But why that's significant is their cover of it was probably better than the original, which doesn't happen very often, frankly. But in this situation, in this particular case, Blinded by the Light, it just took over. So, well, here's what's going on with Blinded by the Light. Bruce Springsteen had all these like lines in it that were part of like his life. Little sayings in the song. So when you listen to the song, the little curly whirly was actually a 32 deuce coupe. And so he would talk about revving up this 1932 Ford coupe, and that was part of the song. And then what was Blinded by the Light was Roner in the Night. Like I hate to sit here and try to sing you the song, because that's really not what it will do it much justice. Just throw it on your song list and you'll see what I'm talking about. Blinded by the Light, number 5 by Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Number 4 comes in with Jojo by Boss Skaggs. And what's crazy about Boss Skaggs is when he recorded on this particular song, a lot of the cats that were on this song with Jojo later became what we now know as Toto. So anyway, but Jojo is really simply a song about a pimp. And so when you listen to it, there's a little version in Jojo where it says, where they're talking about the pimp, where you pay him $50 and he'll get you all you want, and keeps his baby high all night, keeps her on the street. So when you listen to that, it's kind of a dark song in that regard, but it was one of Boss Skaggs' biggest hits. So that was number 4. Number 3, this was the song that had all this backstory to it with this girl that Eric Clapton had wrote songs about, and George Harrison's wife was who this person was, and she is just like this amazing woman that's inspired all these different songs by both George Harrison and Eric Clapton. Yeah, I mean, this chick must have just been some kind of crazy girl. Like, her name was Patty Boyd, and later became Patty Harrison, and then later became Patty Clapton. George Harrison's wife. And Eric Clapton wrote a song about her that famously had a B track on it called Bell Bottom Blues, and the A track was Layla. So when you hear this song Bell Bottom Blues, it's this guy just pouring out his heart. And put it on your song list, listen to it, download it, listen to what I'm telling you about this song, because this one's 1970. And it was a song of the era. When you hear it, you're going to hear the slow hand of Eric Clapton screeching on the electric guitar, and then you're going to hear him sing, and you're going to recognize that whole slow hand sound too. It's really cool. Number 3. So number 2, I had to bring in a Beatles song that George Harrison wrote, because of this person. And who is this person? Patty Boyd. She was a model. She began her fashion career in 1962 modeling, first in London and then in Paris. And she moved on from there with regular assignments. And George Harrison saw her trouncing around, and she kind of got hooked up with the Beatles trend thing because she was this high-end model. And so she meets George Harrison, and they start kind of cruising around, and her and George Harrison fall madly in love, and they start kind of like jumping into the Hare Krishna thing. And then that was really what was starting to bring them together for a little while. But then George Harrison just kind of went overboard with it, and he was cheating a lot and acting like an idiot. And so they were growing apart. So she's ready to candidate. She met Eric Clapton, and he became smitten immediately by this woman, this Patty Boyd, who is now married to George Harrison. And anyway, so he writes these songs, and like, I don't even know, like, they were still kind of buddies and like waving at each other and saying hi and palling around too. It was crazy. But it wasn't until the 70s that Eric Clapton finally got a chance at her, because she had divorced from George Harrison, and then he stepped in as the gentleman that he was to help this young lady out with another marriage. So they get married, and then that lasted about 10 years. And just said, listen, man, you need to get your drinking under control. And I mean, you're over here bringing home, like, what are you doing? And well, anyway, so I'm divorcing you. So she gave him the boot, and Eric Clapton. This was the second time that he felt that he got the boot. The first time is when he kind of came on to her and was like, hey, why don't you kind of hang out with me?